Okay. Hi, this is Kelly with Gia's Italian Kitchen. Welcome to our episode of the podcast, Gia's Italian Kitchen. And if you're watching on social media, you are watching us on video. Today we have a very special guest. Is it Mike DeJong, right? Did I say that
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
Okay.
Yep.
And I'm going to tell you all about him, but we are going to have an amazing conversation with him this afternoon. And you're going to learn how to effectively grow your business, right? And he's going to tell us how to do that. Okay, so I'm going to put my Harry Carey glasses on, or my Meryl Streep, or my Stanley Tucci's, just to read this awesome intro that I wrote. Okay, what does it actually take to own a business and still have a life? Most entrepreneurs start out with a dream of freedom, but somewhere along the way, the business takes over. The late nights pile up, the team depends on you for everything, and before you know it, you're not running a business, it's running you. Today's guest knows this cycle very well, and he's going to tell us all about it. He's made it his life's work to help others break out of this vicious cycle. So, you are a multi business owner, you are a guest speaker, a franchise expert, turnaround specialist. I don't know, have you coined that?
I think a lot of people pretend
Yeah,
they are, so maybe can't coin that one.
yeah. Um, you've written two books, which I'm excited to talk about. Grow Smart, Your Path to Freedom, and Freedom, Mastering the Mindset of Ownership. Um, and what really caught, not, I mean, a lot of this caught my eye, but that you are a platinum partner with Tony Robbins. That is so crazy. So I'm excited to talk about that because really that's how, before COVID, how I kind of started this. I
Ooh,
um, had pivoted. I mean, I'm in finance, but I had pivoted away from finance temporarily and didn't know how to just put one foot in the water. And Tony Robbins has this mastermind program with Dean Graziosi.
yes.
And I don't know, it came across somewhere and I signed up for it and just got hooked. So exciting. So, welcome, Mike. Thank you for being here. This is
Thank,
so exciting.
yeah, thank you so much for having me and for that warm intro. That was fantastic. And the second book, that's a working title. So we're
Oh, okay. Okay. Good to know.
I
Good to
have
know.
a limited production out. I'm getting feedback. The first one's on Amazon as of last week though. So it's a win.
Okay. Okay. Well, I wasn't it a download on your website too?
Also a download on my
Okay.
website. Yeah.
Okay. Because I think I grabbed it. I haven't finished reading it, but I grabbed it.
Yeah,
Of
please
several
excuse
weeks ago.
the typos. That was all been fixed since it went on Amazon.
That's okay.
The commas that weren't in the right place.
I won't tell anyone.
My parochial school teachers would be mortified if they saw that work.
Okay. That's okay. That's why we read over and over and
That's
over
right.
again,
That's right.
right?
Yeah. That's why I finally hired a copywriter before I put it on Amazon. So
And that, yeah, and that. Well, this is kind of a unique interview because normally I'm interviewing or talking about or showing food things, right? So
yes.
Gia's Italian Kitchen, we kind of my tagline is I bring people together, food and fans, friends and family through Italian food. So whether it's a private group class or an online dinner party or employer team building events.
Yeah.
And I don't cater, I don't have a restaurant, I don't want that. I like kind of the
No.
teaching aspect of it, which is
Yeah.
really also what you do is you're teaching, but
Yes.
also you're building a business, you're showing other people how to build a business, which is applicable to all of us. So I was really excited when you reached out to talk about this. So thank you. Thanks for having me.
Well, uh, so my first job was in an Italian restaurant.
Oh, that's awesome. What did you do?
I was the busboy.
Okay.
I grew up in Sault Ste. Marie, and in Sault Ste. Marie, every other person, um, my parents' age or older, came from Italy.
Oh,
So all of my friends' parents were like born and raised in Italy. Their
okay.
grandparents were born. So we had like the most amazing
Oh, I
Italian
bet.
cooking. Just my favorite comfort food I go to. I make my own sauces. I still suck at making my own gnocchi. But I used to watch like the little old ladies in the basement just
Yeah.
rolling, they made all their own stuff. In the basement's where they made it. Then they had the production kitchen and the restaurant on the first floor, and then some pizza stuff on the third floor. But yeah,
That is so cool. What
love it.
state was that in? I didn't recognize.
That was in the state of Ontario, Canada.
Okay. That's why I
Yeah.
don't recognize it. Okay.
Yeah. I immigrated
Okay,
to the
cool.
US. I've been here much longer than I've been there. I took a test. I'm a citizen,
Awesome.
yeah, passed. So
Well, that's exciting. Okay,
grew up right
so
on the border and I always just looked across the border going, I want to be over there.
really,
Yeah.
we're not going to talk politics.
No, 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 no.
So do you have Italian heritage? Because DeJong could be de something, right?
Yeah, no. My dad was born in
No.
Holland and my mother in Scotland, and they
Okay.
immigrated to Canada. So
Okay.
I'm just a family of immigrants. My
Okay.
grandparents were immigrants.
We
So
all are. Yeah, we all are. Well, my mom's a full blood, and then my dad was actually Irish and Scottish, so
okay.
I'm half of that. Yeah, little
You come to it naturally as well.
yeah. Okay, so the most important question of the day, what is your favorite Italian food?
It is gnocchi. It
It
really
is.
is.
Okay.
With yeah, absolutely. Followed by a good multi-cheese ravioli.
Mm,
Yeah.
I agree with
I'm
the
a red
red.
sauce person.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yum. So you're on the East Coast right now. Do you put spare ribs in your sauce?
No.
No. Okay.
I do them separate in the oven though. I'm not a barbecue spare rib person either, but
Okay. Well,
yeah,
it's kind of an East Coast. Like the New Yorkers are more
yeah, no,
from
you're right.
Sicily and they do the spare ribs. I'm from Chicago. My grandparents were from Tuscany, so like north of Rome, and no spare ribs in the sauce.
No, the only thing we cook in our sauce is you might finish the meatballs in there, but not even a meat sauce. The sauce is pure, and then
Okay.
you might finish the meatballs off in the sauce just to kind of bring them up to temperature or
Mm-hmm.
something. Yeah.
Okay. 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 So that's not really what we're going to talk about, but I love talking about food.
Obviously, yeah, I love it.
Okay. So really what you're known for is this operator trap. Is that what you call it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So do you want to just start there? Because I think
Absolutely.
that's kind of your when you get looked up, that's what is popping up all over the place. So tell us what that is.
So there is 168 hours in every week. That's all we got. 168 hours. And small business owners, myself included, uh, what makes us successful early on is we work as many of those as we can. And we work and we work and we work and we get more success and we work harder, we work more hours, and we're there before everyone and we leave after everyone and we work the
Hmm.
weekends and we work the holidays and we do whatever it takes. And then you're now capped. You cannot grow, you cannot add a location, you cannot expand the location you're in, you can't do anything else because you run out of hours in the week. So you've now by operating your business, you've now trapped yourself in this business that you thought would give you all this freedom and all this time off and all this wealth and you
Hmm.
find yourself working in it day in and day out and you become your best employee. Um, so to work yourself out of the trap, you have to recognize first that one, the problem is right here. Most people don't like to admit that.
No, most people want to blame someone else, right?
Well, it's just human nature. Yeah.
For sure, for sure. Yeah.
And then you have to work a process for getting yourself out of that trap. And there's a few steps to that. I could go on for if you want me to, or it's like the next step of the process is recognizing that there's I call them three main archetypes of business leaders. There's hundreds of leadership titles. You get your charismatic leader, your bureaucratic leader, et cetera. But in business, I think there's three levels. I call them the GSD, the get stuff done person. It's a PG podcast, so we'll keep it at that. You have your architect and you have your hunter.
Hmm.
And most people that start a business, they're a GSD. They're good at getting stuff done.
Yeah.
They're doing it for someone else, or they have a passion that they've had for a long time, and they turn it into a business. And so they're used to like, I don't need a process. I don't need just get out of my way. I will figure it out. I'm going to
Yeah.
get it done. That's probably 80%. 10% ish people are the architects. Those are the ones that like to plan. They from point A to point B with multiple contingencies. They understand the whole process. They're really good at figuring stuff out. Not necessarily good at getting stuff done, and not necessarily good at bringing in the business. And then you got your hunters. Those are the ones that I say, and I should fess up. I'm a hunter. Suffer from shiny object syndrome. I've heard it called the
Ah,
woman in the red dress. Like the grass is always greener over there. They're the
okay.
ones hunting for the next deal, bringing in the next guy. Let's try this marketing campaign. Why don't we adjust our product like this? Let's go over here and do this other thing. Screwing up the people that are
I was
in your
gonna say the other people probably don't like you very much all the time.
none of them like each other, right? The architect's
Yeah.
like, hey, GSD person, like we got to have a plan. Like you're not doing the plan. They're like, get out of my way. I'm just getting it done. And the hunter's like, we're going to change the plan. And so
Yep.
they don't necessarily get along. So if you're a GSD and you kind of put your hand up when I described that, and um, I should fess up and say I used to think I was an architect. Sometimes it takes someone else to point a finger at you and go, no, 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 because I have a background in engineering and aviation as well.
Okay.
And that's a lot of process and procedure. And I'm like, I'm good
Yeah.
at writing these things. I worked in an operations department for a large Fortune 500 company, 7 states, 1,500 locations for years. Like it's all process, process, process. I'm like, I'm an architect. No, just because I was doing that doesn't mean that's what I
Okay.
am.
Do you
But
feel like you're a little bit of each though?
everyone's a little
Are
bit of each.
most people a little bit of each?
Everyone's a little bit of each, but we're
Okay.
not, very few people are balanced in all three.
Okay.
I've met a few people that are really good at two, but I've never met anyone that's good at all three. I'm
Yeah.
sure they exist. I
Yeah.
just haven't met them yet. But we tend to lean into one, like we lean into the one.
Mm-hmm.
So you're a GSD, you're good at getting stuff done, and you hire someone this is what we all do, that's a GSD. They're good at getting stuff done. They might be doing it different than you, but they're good at getting stuff done. And then you hire another GSD that's good at getting stuff done. And then before you know it, there's 3 or 4 different ways of getting stuff done. And we're not getting things done consistently. We don't have a consistent client process, and things start to fall through the cracks, and it becomes this like big rigmarole. So you're like, oh man, I got to hire someone to help me with these processes or someone to help me with marketing. And then you hire one of those people, and they're like, I don't like this person. They talk they're like they talk in this weird language, and they want to do these things, and they're just getting in my way because I want to get things done. And you could kind of see how this all kind of like
Uh-huh.
gets to be a problem. So then we sit there, and again, I'm pointing my finger at myself when I say these things. I'm not pointing at you or anybody else because
Sure.
I've lived this. Is we're sitting there going, well, no one could do this better than I can. I am the best at fill in the blank.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, it would why am I hiring people? I'm just gonna it slows me down. I have to fix their work afterwards. I have to, assuming you're a GSD. And why are you fixing their work? Because you never defined the process of how it's supposed to be. You never had an architect kind of look at that. Or man, I just can't seem to get sales from these other areas. Well, you never brought in a hunter. You don't know how to hunt. And that's okay. It's not a bad thing, but it's recognizing which one of those people you are, archetypes you are, what's
Mm-hmm.
your home, and then deciding like, okay, like if I'm a GSD, I need an architect. I need someone to kind of put some guide rails in place, kind of define the process so that we could make it repeatedly, and it's not me doing it. I could hire Mike to come do it. I could show him how to make gnocchi. Like he just and consistently can make it the same way every time
Mm-hmm.
without fail, etc. Or I need a marketing like the first 3 marketing people I hired. They might have been amazing. I just didn't know how to use them because I didn't. They're speaking this other language, and it was just it was just this terrible experience. But then I came to the realize it's like, okay, I need people to fill in my holes, and I don't just need people to fill in my holes. Even my role needs to be replaced. And I need to find someone. This is the question that changed my life. I need to find someone that's better than
Yeah.
I am. And that was leaving the
Did you
ego.
come to that realization? Because I think part of what you talk about in your book and when you are in public speaking is how to help that person become aware. So how does that even happen if you're just so in the daily grind? You can't come out of the rabbit hole.
So the first wake up for me was a vacation to Mexico. And I do talk about a little bit in the book, but let me set the stage. Like you're in the Midwest, I was in the Midwest, I was in Wisconsin. It was February, and we just had an 80-degree day. Like one of those days where you're like, ah, winter's over. Life is good. And then it snows the next day. And you're like, that's it. That's it. I'm done. I'm done. I'm a business owner. I became a business owner. And I wasn't. I was a business operator, but in my head, I'm a business owner.
Mm-hmm.
I became a business owner so that I could like have all this freedom that I want. And I am going to take a vacation and I'm going to Mexico. And this is like a Sunday and I'm going to Mexico on Tuesday. And I found a flight, I found a resort, last
Wow.
minute deal, and I had a manager. And she was actually better than I was at managing the day to day because she was an architect
Mm.
and she had a bunch of, and everyone working there was a GSD or a hunter. So anyway, I'm like, I could do this. And I talked to her. She's like, yeah, go do it. It's going to be great. I'm like, wonderful. And I fly down to Mexico and I get off the plane and Bob Marley is playing on the steel drums, and the breeze and there's palm trees. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so amazing. It was a blizzard. I barely got out of Milwaukee. It was terrible. And I'm like, I'm living the dream. And of course I turned my phone on because you got to be in touch. And there's like a text message like ding, 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 ding. I'm like, what's going on? And then my manager calls and she was only going to call if the place burned down. I'm like, oh my God, the place must have burned down. And it didn't burn down. It turns out she was quitting. And she's going to stay until I got back. So she's like, I'll see you in a week. I'm like, no, actually, this is like a 10-day vacation. She's like, really? Oh, I must have wrote the date down wrong. I went to the front desk and extended the vacation because I knew I wasn't going to get another one for a long time. Then I went to the bar and had a few too many cervezas. And then as I was sitting on my laptop this entire vacation, not all inside, I was by the pool a little bit, but mostly inside, dealing with everybody and everything because I had no processes and no procedures in place.
No.
I realized I almost did this right. I had someone that was better than me at running the thing. That was the win. But I'd never put in place the processes and procedures and SOPs to make it repeatable. So every person had to come to her or me to ask how everything had to get done all the time. And after she said she's leaving, no one wanted to go to her anymore. So they all started coming to me.
Ah.
And I thought back to my aviation and engineering days and corporate America days. And I'm like, man, those procedures and stuff we had, maybe there was a reason for that. Maybe having processes behind things makes sense. And like I used to joke, not even joke, I tell people, like, how do you add up to 8? And they're like, 1 plus 7. I'm like, yes. Or 4 plus 4, or 5 plus 3, or 9 minus 1. I don't care. Get me to 8. I just want 8. And I came to realize that was costing me a lot of time and a lot of money and a lot of energy, and everything had to come through me, and I was a bottleneck. And the most efficient way to get to 8 in my business was 4 plus 4. And then I had to get everyone to do 4 plus 4. And it was getting that was my big wake up moment, my big realization. And then it was I'm not going to say a grind. It was like, it's never easy when you make change, but I kind of started enjoying it because I also found I really like a good challenge, and I was getting maybe a little laissez-faire in how I was running the day to day. So this became a good thing, and then I got stuck with how do you make these processes and procedures, and I started with like pulling my laptop up and step 1. Unlock the door. Step 2, turn on the light. I'm like, oh, this is not going to work. I'm never going to get anything done. It's taken me forever to write these things. And then I realized there's this thing called technology. And I literally
hard,
started.
though. Writing those SOPs it's not the sexy part of the job.
No,
You don't think they're needed because you think so much of it, like you just said, flip the lights, that it's intuitive, but to most people that might not be intuitive.
it's true. And there's finding the balance. There's finding the balance of how deep to go versus how much should be common sense
Right.
For people. But I started using my cell phone and I would just record myself on a website or doing a task. And I called it verbal diarrhea. That's what we used to call it back in my flight instruction days.
Yeah.
It's like you just talk all the time to the students. And I started doing that. I'm like, okay, I'm going to this website and I'm going here because I have to order this widget. And when I get there, I go to this menu and then I go to this sub menu and then I order the green ones and not the blue ones. And I get 25 of them if we have 5 in stock. But if we get down to 1 in stock, I get 30 of them. And then I put a rush order and like all the reasons behind everything.
Yeah.
And then I started, Never watch your recordings. Just don't do
Yeah.
it. It's terrible. I try to watch like a podcast afterwards, and I'm just like, oh, I said that. Oh my God, I looked at that. Oh,
Yeah.
there's glare on
Yeah.
my forehead. Like, oh my God, this
Yeah.
is terrible. Um, just don't watch it and hand it to someone and say, can you go do this? And don't make any assumptions. If something's not clear, come and ask me. And then by the
Yeah.
third iteration, you got it. And from there, we'd either put it up on a private like YouTube channel or an internal server,
Yeah.
or now you can have an AI tool like
Yep.
just write it out for you, and now you got
Yeah.
your processes. And I started going through those one at a time. Now I was working with like I had a franchise, so we had a lot of procedures
Okay.
in place. But they, specifically they said this is exactly how you frost a cake. Okay, but they didn't say it doesn't say what's the best path to get that from the refrigerator. It didn't say where's the best place to set up your frosting bucket to be most efficient to take like one step instead of seven. It doesn't say
Mhm.
like there's just little things
Yeah.
in there that you could maximize. But even the little stuff like I work with a lot of teenagers and they're great. Everyone's like the youth these days. I'm like the youth these days are really friggin' amazing. I will plug the youth these days all day long. Uh, but there are things that there's opportunities. It was an affluent area, and one of the things was like clean the bathroom. That was the process, and a lot of the people, male and female, get there the next day. It's like, oh, the bathroom's not clean. I'm like, clean the bathroom. Yeah, I cleaned it. Okay, show me how. And they kind of like wipe down the sink a little. I'm like, have you ever cleaned a toilet? Yeah, I've never cleaned a toilet before. Have you ever wiped down a wall? No, I don't know. Like here, okay, here's how you use a mop. Here's how you use a broom. Like we had to kind of, but it was just
You're a
understanding.
mean boss.
Yeah, it's terrible. It was terrible. Yeah, I couldn't
So how
imagine
did
it.
you get into this though, jumping from the engineering? What was that transition? Because that's nothing. Well, I guess I don't even know I don't remember what that franchise was.
Nothing but cakes.
It was cake. Okay.
Yeah, nothing but cakes. Amazing franchise. I still own a unit out in Washington State. I recently
Oh,
sold my
cool.
Wisconsin ones. Going to grow out there. Um, that's one of my turnaround ones. I bought that and it was doing
Okay.
this, and now it's doing this. So,
Okay.
uh, anyway, I went from engineering to operations for a Fortune 500 company for H&R Block. They had like
Right.
12. They have 12,000 locations nationwide, or they did when I
Mhm.
worked for them. Um, and then from there to the Nothing Bun Cakes, and a lot of the same reasons a lot of people leave corporate America. I work with great people, and the company does really good things. Like taxes are hard, and people need help.
Mhm.
They really do.
Mhm.
But sometimes certain leaders or certain decisions are made that are just challenging. And there was a couple of incidents like we didn't have a very good year. It happens. No bonuses. I'm like, all right, well, that sucks, but life goes on. And then they voted, oh, well, you guys all work really hard. We're getting your bonuses. We're like, yay, bonuses. And then they gave the same bonus to everybody. My area did really well.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of areas that sucked. And I'm like, I just got the same amount as people, and I killed myself this year.
Mhm.
That doesn't feel good. And then another one is I had an opportunity to move to a different area in the company, and my current boss wouldn't let me go. He's like, I need you. I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
you're stifling my growth. So I started really looking for other opportunities after that, and
Okay.
and realized I wanted to work for myself, and had wanted to do it for a long time. So that's why I made the leap.
So did you go right into the cake business after that?
I did.
You did. How
And
did you know how to run a franchise at that point?
I didn't.
Okay.
And my cakes, while delicious, were terrible to look at. They were aesthetically not pleasing. Now my pies were amazing. I made great pies, but my cakes were terrible. I'm like, well, they'll teach me, and they did. It was a multi-month training process
Okay.
in a corporate-owned bakeries, and they showed you everything from how to greet the customer to how to make the cake to how to frost the cake to how to
Okay.
how to sell the cake, how to market the cake, et cetera, et cetera, and had a 100% success record. I think they still do. I'm not sure that any Nothing Bun Cakes has ever closed anywhere because they're such a well-run franchise.
Are they mainly in Wisconsin?
They are nationwide, about
Oh, okay.
900 locations. There's one in Cedar Rapids. You should look them up.
There is?
Yeah, they make bundt
Okay, I
cakes.
need to
That's
look
all
it
they make
up.
is bundt cakes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to look it up. I try not to eat pies very often because I can't just have one piece.
Yeah, it's I struggle with
So
that as
maybe that's
well.
why I haven't found it.
Yeah, nothing but cakes. They have a nice drizzle frosting. I saw you had a drizzle frosting bundt cake on your website. Looking good. But
Nice.
but if you're
Yep.
feeling lazy, go to nothing but cakes. But yeah, no, they've been absolutely great. And at the time, they were getting thousands of applications to become a franchisee
Mm,
at the time, and they're opening like 20-ish a year, and not even any in Wisconsin. And I like just kept calling them and bothering them until they said yes. And I had to go through the whole process, but
sure.
yeah, opened the first one in Wisconsin, and the rest, as they say, is history. Opened three more in Wisconsin. Yeah, it's been a
That's
good ride.
awesome.
About 10 years ago.
So what was at the height? How many did you own at one time?
Five.
Wow. That's
And was building two more. Now I'm one and building two more.
wow.
Yeah, someone showed up and said, we'd like to buy them. I said, no, thank you. They said, we'd like to offer you this. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
how about we sell two? And then a year later, we sold the other two.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's exciting. So, I mean, it seems like franchises aren't as big as they used to be, just of any restaurant. But I don't know. Maybe that's not the case.
I think it depends on the genre, like what you're looking for.
Okay.
Like I suspect that you seek out non-franchise restaurants in your life to eat.
Hmm.
And I'm the same way. Like when I used to work for H&R Block, and I'd go visit my staff in Cedar Rapids or Minneapolis or anywhere in Nebraska, like whatever part of the world they gave me that year. It was because they moved that around every year. It was great. It really was. But I'd be like, you're going to have a great visit if you take me to a local restaurant
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
lunch.
Yeah.
And then it'd be fun because sometimes you'd end up at a chain and they didn't realize it was a chain. So
That happens too.
I
Yeah.
didn't hold that against them,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it was just fun. Yeah.
So was it when you were in the cake business or in a different realm of your um, path that you discovered this operator trap?
It
Like
was
where
when I
did,
was in it was when I was in the cake business.
okay.
It's when I went from location one to location two. I had this idea that okay, I'm making at that time. I can't really say the numbers, but they were
Sure.
like 7+ figures of cake, which blows my mind to this day.
Mm-hmm.
And I was taking home less than $50,000 a year.
Ooh.
And I'm like, I know what I'll do. I'll grow. If I have a second location, then I'll have like double the revenue, and I could slot people back and forth from the different stores, so some of my labor problems will go away, and it's just going to be so. I already know what I'm doing. I already opened one, so it's going to be amazing. And then I opened the second one, and I ended up working more hours and being more frustrated and had more labor problems and made less money because everything still revolved around me. I was the operator. And that's why on the title of the book, when I went from Grow Smart, I have a little piece of duct tape over Grow Fast because
Yeah.
yeah, growing fast can get you in a lot of trouble. All you're going to do is scale chaos if you
Mm-hmm.
don't get your procedures down first. If you're an individual working for yourself, like doing everything yourself, and you think I don't need any processes or procedures, you're wrong. Start now. It doesn't cost you anything to do it, or cost you very little.
It
And
except for time.
it doesn't have to cost you time. Just the next time you're doing it, just flip on your cell phone
Yeah,
or
I like
or
that idea.
or
Yeah.
Zoom or
Yeah.
sorry, Zoom, Loom or Descript or one of those recording ones on your computer and just do
Yeah.
what you were doing and just narrate out loud instead of in your head what you're
Yeah.
doing. And then now you have it in the book. And then if you get to the spot where you need some help, you're like, all right, watch this and I'll show you a couple times and then we'll have a test and then we'll move on. And you can immediately scale without like, oh, hey, go make this thing. Here's a recipe. Completely different way. But people do it backwards. They get to the point like, oh my God, I'm so busy. I need to hire someone. And then they hire the wrong person, which was a whole different conversation. And then and then they just like throw some very minimal training at them, like you know how to make sauce? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay, go make it. Here's a recipe. And they didn't saute the onions right at the beginning, or the garlic, before they just dumped everything else into it. Like, it's
Okay.
just, yeah, because they didn't know. Like, oh yeah, put onions. All right. Like, it's just, they didn't dice them small enough, whatever. There's
Yeah.
different things.
Yeah.
And every business has that same, almost every bit, never say ever, never say always. Almost every business has the same issue when they're first expanding.
Now, would you say that part of the struggle, you talk about mindset, that being able to make that jump is also getting in the frame of mind to allow yourself to do it? How do you get there?
Yeah, I think a lot of us have heard the expression, change your story, change your life.
Yeah.
But how do we change our story?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the big one. So I have a process around that. I call it your ascent protocol, because you are going to ascend. Uh, and it goes something like this. I really ought to write this down. See, I don't even follow my own. I don't even follow my own advice. So think back, or you can't think back to when you were a baby, but we've all seen babies, and if they have a clean diaper and a full tummy, they're generally pretty happy. Like, they could be looking at a beige wall and they're like, oh, this is great. Everything's wonderful. They're like sucking on their toes. Like, everything is just like fabulous. So I believe as humans that we all, like, our natural state is joy. Our natural state is joy. And then we learn over time how to ruin that. So by creating stories. So we're going to segue just a bit from the ascent protocol and talk about the 6 human needs, which are, and we'll go over them all in detail. Certainty, we all need a certain amount of certainty in our lives. Variety, we all need a certain amount of variety or uncertainty in our lives. Significance, love or connection. Most people are defaulted to connection these days, but love's a much more powerful one. And then if we have those met, we want growth and we want contribution. And we start telling stories in our life to meet whatever one of those or 2 of those needs are our most, like, powerful needs. So, if you need to know exactly when everything's happening and it's going to happen exactly this way, and you want to have control of everything, like, maybe certainty is your number one need. But that can't be your only need, because an example I've heard before and I like talking about is, let's say you went to Las Vegas. We can't go to one of those casinos in Cedar Rapids. Let's say we go to Las Vegas, and you pull that one-armed bandit and you win. Like, how do you feel? Pretty excited.
Pretty awesome.
And you pull it again and you win. And you pull it again and you win. And 24 hours of pulling it, you're winning. And you're like, it's not going to be like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like, oh my God, this is so much work. I have to pull the thing, and then I got to take the coins out of the jar, and oh, this is terrible. You've taken certainty to a level where you don't like it anymore. Or people who really need variety. I'm one of those people. That's one of my biggest needs. It hovers between variety and love and connection.
Okay.
To the point where maybe I was causing some chaos in my life so I could have some more variety. People who need to have significance. We all know that person that has to be number one at everything, and everyone to know that they are. We all need some significance. Even Gandhi and Mother Teresa had some significance, right? But it doesn't have to be like the number one. Love and connection. That's one I love, because I think love makes the world go around. But anyway, so we have to meet these needs. So we tell stories depending on what is our most critical need that fits, because our brains take all these calories, even the yummy Italian cooking ones, and turns them into energy in our brain. And it doesn't want to use them. So it's like, how can I make a shortcut? Well, if I see this means that. So you've told a story, and you didn't even think about a story. There was not like this, okay, I did this and this happened. And it's just like this instant thing. And it starts in childhood. Let's say you're a baby and you learned that every time you saw the color green, pain was going to come. And you're like, you don't consciously think about that. But in life, your story is, I hate green. Green is the color of evil. Green means pain, but you don't, it's just a story you've been telling yourself since you're a little baby. But it's not, there's no reason for it. We don't consciously think about our stories. we just react to them. We're just like, I think this about that because I've just always thought that. We don't consciously program our lives. So if you let's go back to start with joy, and then we did the 6 human needs, and then you think about, all right, there's facts and there are stories. The fact is we're talking right now. That's a fact.
Mm-hmm.
What stories can we make up about it? I could make up like, oh my God, I can't believe she has to wear those glasses. Like, that's just terrible. I never talk to people with glasses because that means they're smarter than me. And I hate talking to people that are smarter than, like, I could make up this huge story. Or I could be like, man, I'm going to have the best conversation ever. And we're going to help people out. And we're going to talk about Italian cooking and business and the Midwest. And this is going to be amazing. 2 different stories, 2 very different outcomes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we realize there's facts. The fact is we're talking, and then we make up a story. Well, we could change that story. So when you find yourself, and I find myself, and everyone listening to this finds themselves in this situation where, like, I don't like fill in the blank. It's like, all right, what's the fact? And what's the story? And what's the language I'm using? You come home from work after typing on the computer all day, and you're like, I'm exhausted. Or it's like, oh man, I'm glad I wasn't out plowing the field for 8 hours in the heat today. Like, a different story. You might be tired, but maybe you're not exhausted. You could change the story. And then if you start looking at the facts and as you're applying them to the story, you think to yourself, is this story true? Okay, is it? All right, maybe parts of it. Is it 100% true? And then if it is true, how does that make you feel if it's true? And if it doesn't make you feel good, it's like, all right, how can I change this story? Now, a practical example, and the first one that I ever applied this to was I would get very, 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 very angry at people that would cut me off in traffic. I'd be like, you SOB, how dare you put me and my family in danger? Why do you think you're more important than I am? Like, just the whole triad. But being from the Midwest, I was polite about it. I might have honked, but there's no finger. You know, I wasn't from Chicago. So, but this internal monologue, my blood pressure would go
Sure.
up. I might
Yeah.
drive a little bit more aggressively. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is not good. I'm going to try this whole like story thing. Like, okay, what's the story? What story can I make up about that person that just cut me off? I'm like, how about, no, that's not good. How about, well, no. Okay, no, I got to make it good. I got to make it good. How about they're rushing to the hospital to be at their mother's deathbed, and they got to get there before she passes. And you can see I'm deeply ingrained in me. Like, so now when I get cut off, I'm just like, oh, go, man. I hope you make it. And I just feel at peace about it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, did that happen instantly? No. At first, I'd be like, oh, wait, no, deathbed. Yeah, mother. Okay. And I started building that in. And then I started taking that to other things in my personal life and then in my professional life to the point where and I don't always, I'm not Tony Robbins. But when I recognize there's a story that I'm in that is not serving me or the people around me well, I'm like, I try to make up some absolutely ridiculous story and then kind of come back to something in the middle that has a better, more positive outcome. And changing the story changes my life, and you can change your life too. So it's like joy, facts, stories. Is it true? Is it 100% true? Changing.
Yeah. Easier said than done, but yes.
Practice.
Yeah.
You got to get the reps in, just like going to the gym. You go and lift that weight once. It's like, that sucked, but okay. You go every day, you start building that muscle.
So as part of what you do is go into businesses and help them figure this out?
Some of it. Mostly it's working with the business owners.
Okay.
Like we're talking now, I'll talk with them. I have gone into them, but so my whole thing is like freedom. Like, and freedom to me means freedom to travel, freedom to move around.
Mm-hmm.
Like we were talking before the podcast. Like I don't even have a home anymore. I live in Airbnbs. Like
that's so crazy.
And I only have a plan to do that for a couple of years. I'm not going to do it forever. I'm just seeing where I want to live now. I don't have to live where I lived. My kids are in different parts of the country. They probably don't want me living with them. So,
Yeah,
I'm just,
right.
I'm just trying different parts to see what I
Yep.
like, and I'll go spend 4, 6, 8 weeks somewhere and check it out. So, for me to go into your business and spend a week or a month with you, or even a couple of days, is kind of like against how I want to be. So I'll go do it, but it's, I charge appropriately for it. So, more often I'll have these one-on-one conversations, or
Okay. With
I
the
have
owner.
I have group sessions where I'll set people up that are in a similar level. So, I kind of moderate and then they help each other out. My favorite thing that I love doing is the keynote speaking, where I go talk and I give a few actionable items, read the books and, help you out, help from there. My idea is I just want to help as many people as possible, because
Yeah.
I lost so much sleep, Kelly. I lost so much money, so many mistakes, hundreds of thousands of dollars in mistakes over the years from not recognizing these problems, that I just don't want people to have that same pain.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's so hard to see it yourself. You almost need someone else to come in with an unbiased view,
Yeah.
and then when they point that out, you're like, oh, duh, but you just can't see it yourself sometimes, right?
Yeah. And it's an interesting acceleration. At first, they're like, maybe, or you're wrong. I'm like, okay, let's talk about the story you're telling yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I might be, I
Mm-hmm.
could be, I'm not perfect. And eventually, the longer I work with them, it's kind of like, okay, I suggest, okay, whatever, like, let me take notes. I'm going to go do it tomorrow. I'm like, no, 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 you got to see if this is the right thing for you. They kind of like kicking and screaming into like they can't wait for the next change. It's kind of fun to watch these transformations happen. I really
So the
enjoy them.
start would be the book.
Yeah.
So they would start with the first book, where's the
Yeah.
title?
Grow smart. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that is on Amazon,
It
right?
is finally on Amazon
Okay.
after a year of me resisting.
And the second book is still in process, right?
It is. I have a few
Okay.
limited copies in circulation. I want feedback. I want it to be the best I can. And the second
Yeah.
one is even more actionable step-by-step items. Like the first one gives you the concepts. The second one gives like, do this and then do this. And then like I broke it down even more because that was the feedback I had from the first book. It's like,
Okay.
this
So
is great, but I
someone
still don't know how.
watching, they should get the first book and start there. If
Yes.
they don't know where to start,
Start there.
like they're listening to all this, but they're like, where do I start? Read the book first.
Watch this podcast 7 times and then
Yeah.
read the book. Yeah.
Right, right, right. Okay, so Tony Robbins, how did this happen? Tell me how you crossed paths and what's going on there.
Yeah, Tony's he's an amazing human. He's been doing this for
Long
40,
time.
50 years. Like
Yeah,
it's just, I think close to 50 years. Like he started when he was like 17, 18 years old.
yeah,
He's definitely the GOAT, the greatest of all time.
yeah,
He
yeah.
developed the whole self-coaching industry. Like it exists
Yep.
because of Tony Robbins. So I went to something called UPW, Unleash the Power Within,
Okay.
in Miami in 2017. And I went kicking and screaming with a young lady I was dating at the time. She's like, we're going to go do this Tony thing. I'm like, who's Tony? I'm like, come on, we'll go do this thing. I'm like, fine, I'll go do this thing. And we had seats in with the Platinum Partnership, like
Uh-huh.
his like, I don't know, special cohort, we'll call them. We'll
Okay.
get back into what Platinum Partnership is in a minute. And I didn't even realize like how awesome that was at the time. And the whole first day, I'm just sitting there like this is stupid. Why are we dancing? Why are we singing? I don't. And then by the end of the day, I'm like, oh, that kind of makes sense. Oh, okay, I see what's going on there. All right. And then that first night, you go walk on burning coals. That's right. You walk across burning coals. I've done it like a
Barefoot?
half dozen times, barefoot,
Ah!
and you do not get burned. I've done it a half dozen times. He's done it millions of times with people.
Why don't you get burned?
This thing, your brain controls everything, including your physiology.
Okay.
I'm not going to go deeper than that. Don't go don't go like, I'm going to go walk on
Yeah,
coals and go do it.
don't go try it. Yeah.
Like go to UPW and experience it. It's an amazing, like, and then you're done with it. You're like, oh my God, I just walked on burning coals. And then the rest of the next few days, you're like, I'm just like, give it to me. and learned a lot. But like a lot of people that go to seminars, I'm like, I was really jazzed up, and then I didn't
Yeah.
really apply the stuff, and then it kind of went down, and then then COVID happened, and I'm like, he's got this other thing. What's it called? Oh, business mastery. That's it. Maybe I should go do that business mastery thing. Couldn't afford it. I had no money. Like I had a like I had two multi-million dollar businesses, but I wasn't making any money. But I'm like, oh, what do I got to lose? I had a good time at this UPW thing. I'll go there. And he started talking about the Platinum Partnership, and they were the people in the front row, like a couple hundred people. And he started talking about, all the things they do and et cetera, and how they go to all the Tony events and the camaraderie. I'm like, yeah, 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 yeah. And then he said something that really stuck. He goes, and if you change the circle you hang with, you'll change your life. If you hang out with people that are like above you in business and in relationships, etc., that stuff will start rubbing off on you because they will not tolerate your lower standard. Like if you want to be part of the group, this is the standard. And I'm like, well, that's interesting. And you interact with these people throughout the event, and this one's got $10 million clinics, and that one did this and makes $100,000 every time he does it. And this woman was like, it was just, I'm like, these people are all blowing my mind on what they're doing. And oh, by the way, we go and take these week-long ski trips, and we go on these adventure trips. I did a great one to Africa with Tony, amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, jumped off a. If my mother used to say, if someone jumps off a mountain, would you jump off it? Yes, I could definitively answer that. I would. I told her I would as a kid,
Yeah,
but she didn't
right.
believe me. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe I should think about it. Then they gave me the price tag. I'm like, duh, I couldn't afford to be here. Like, you know what? I'm going to believe in this process that I will make that money by being around those people because I will up my income just being around them and spending time and et cetera. And in 6 months, I 10x my income.
Wow.
And made the best friends I've made in my entire life
But how did you do that? By changing your processes?
by changing my proximity to the right people and then talking to them about my processes.
Oh, okay.
And then just things like I was gummed up on. Like the major thing wasn't that my business wasn't producing enough money for me to make it, is that I had this uh, deeply rooted, whatever you want to call it, that I couldn't make more than my parents. And
Oh.
my parents are like the steelworker.
Mm.
And it
So
was like
holding you back? Yeah.
erase. And then
Yeah.
it's like, poof, there it is. And
Oh.
then it was like, oh, I can't, like whatever it is, I can't. It's like, no, how can I? And then you just go find someone in this group. It's a few hundred people strong. It's like there's always someone that's done something like that already. Hey, can you give me a few minutes? Let's talk about fill in the blank. And they're like, yeah, you do this other thing, you go over here. And that's kind of the service I'm trying to give to people without having to join the Tony Robbins Platinum. Although I highly recommend it. If you have the means
Yeah.
and the time, join. It will change your life. But just providing those same services because it just changed my life. It absolutely did.
That's so cool. So do you have recurring events still?
Yeah, I don't go to all of them anymore. I'm not what's called an active platinum partner
Okay.
right now, although I
Okay.
just signed up to start again next year. But I go to enough, and I keep in touch with the people that I met along the way. And then there's different a lot of WhatsApp groups because
Ah,
literally international groups, like 190 something countries represented. So it's just an easy platform for people to connect on from anywhere in the world.
okay. Yeah.
And just like incredible like humans. And then there's humans in there that are literally changing the world, like stopping human trafficking and like
Oh, wow.
I'm going to quit my job in Silicon Valley and go stop end human trafficking in fill in the blank country, and they're doing it as a for example.
Wow.
It's just yeah,
Because they have the means to do it because they've succeeded in their
right. And they have the mindset to do it, and
yeah.
then they just
And
go do
yeah.
it.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
So back to your operator trap and just kind of helping companies to get out of the rut, grow, get their processes. What would you say one of your worst examples was that you really did the hockey puck for them?
yeah. Uh, it was actually with an attorney. Like I spent a lot of time with franchises, but it was with an attorney. And she had her fingers in everything. Like she was, even though she had people working for her, it was definitely a one woman show. Absolutely, that could not get out of her own way. Losing money like every day, literally. To in 18 months, I think this year she's on track for $500,000. And if she'd absolutely get out of her own way, could do 1 million with no change in like it's still her and a couple people. It's just changing her processes, changing her procedure, documenting. Like, nothing was ever good enough. I'm like, what is good? What is good enough? What does good look like? How can you expect your people to make something if you don't ever define it? Like as a, for example, on a franchise or restaurant scale, there was a place I went to where it was as simple as changing all the light bulbs. They all had every light bulb was a different color, and some fixtures had no light bulbs in them, and painting the walls because
To
it was
make it
just
just more aesthetically pleasing for
there were
the
just like little thumbtack holes everywhere and scuff marks, and you just walked in, you're like,
yeah.
yeah, and it was just let's just make some nice lighting and paint the walls, and then we'll start having a reproducible way of talking to people every time they come in, instead of like, how you doing? It's like, welcome, welcome to Gia's restaurant, Italian kitchen. We are so excited to have you here today.
That's kind of the thug way. What's up? Or what did you say? You said it. That was so funny. What did you just say before?
How you doing?
Yeah, that.
Like one of the things in my bakeries is I want people to say, welcome them back. Like it's like, thank you for coming in today. We'll see you again very soon versus have a good one. Which one is going to make people want to come back? It doesn't sound like a lot,
right.
but the surveys that we send our people say that it's the welcoming them back in a second
Because
time.
it's a mindset of, oh, I am going to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or smiling at everyone that walks in the door. I don't care what industry you're in. If you teach your people to smile and greet them, even if they're with another customer on the phone, you just like look up, you're on the phone, you're like,
Yeah.
like it's genuine. I overdid it for the podcast here. People feel welcome. Like it's the customer service. It just doesn't exist anymore.
It's definitely
The bar is so low
yeah,
that if you just take it up to where it used to be 30 years ago, let alone where it can be, you'll double, triple, quadruple your income there. And then looking at processes in the places I help, people set up, even the ones that have a process or procedure, to make it easier for them, not to make it easier for your customer. So if you got to do 2 or 3 or 10 more steps on the back end to make something a 1-step process or 2-step process for your customer, you should do that. Remove friction. Almost always. You start adding friction if you can't keep up with demand. If you have demand, you up prices and or add friction so that it slows down demand. But if your supply constraint, you just keep like how can I make this as frictionless as possible? And I've been in like, for example, the bakery I took over. My expectation in my bakeries was we will have a custom cake if you come in and we don't have it ready in less than 20 minutes, and we tried to do it in 10. And the one I took over, it's like, well, we need at least 24 and we prefer 48 hours notice for everything. Well, why so long? Well, so we don't screw up any orders. Okay, how's that serving your customer when they have a need right now?
Oh, yeah.
How's that easier for the customer? Or we require them to call and verify, fill in the blank information. Well, why? Well, they often type it in wrong. Okay, well, let's make it so they can't type it in wrong.
Yeah.
Like it was
Get
just
to the root. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever it is, like how can we make it as easy as possible for the customer? Not what's easy possible for us.
Yeah.
If it's hard for us, then we have something wrong with our process, and we got to rethink the whole thing and our pricing and what we're doing, et cetera. But in any case, like just make that invisible. The customer doesn't need to see that.
Yeah.
How many times have you been at a stand where you, like, I can't remember what it's called, host a stand when you walk into a restaurant and the person's sitting there flipping through the iPad. Yeah. Like, that drives me nuts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that's not good customer service. It should be like, okay, like the next two person that walks in goes here, the next four person goes there. Our wait time is it, whatever it is.
Right.
Like, it shouldn't be this like agonizing. And they do that because they have no process about who gets what. Like, well, I got to keep it even. Like, Kelly needs to have three tables and Mike needs to have three tables. And like, just figure out a process for you where it's seamless for the customer.
Yeah.
Every little thing matters. There's a book called, what is it called? Broken Windows or something like that. And it basically talks about in a neighborhood, if someone has a broken window, they fix it, the neighborhood's good. But when someone has a broken window, they don't fix it, then someone else gets a broken window. Before you know it, there's some trash on the ground.
Yeah.
And the whole thing just starts to deteriorate. And your business is very much like that too, like the place where we changed the light bulbs and painted. Like they couldn't see it anymore because they just lived in it every day.
And it just became part of their peripheral. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Mike, what do you have coming up that you want to share with folks?
Oh my goodness. Well, sign up on the website and you'll find out about some in-person events I'm going to start doing in the Midwest. I have some this fall coming up in Wisconsin, but we'll see. Maybe I can make it over to Iowa. Who knows?
Yeah.
And I'm looking at ways to make them virtual too, so that people can come on. I'm also working on, everything's a process, right? Doing like a bi-weekly live event where people could come on and we could have discussions like we're having. But like it could be like, you come on, I have a question about this. All right, well, I think you could do this other thing. Things like that, that's coming up. And then I do have a few speaking engagements coming up. If you want to come to the Texas 2-year Community College Association meeting next week, I'm speaking at that.
Cool.
Yeah. And yeah, it's just sign up. I'll let you know. I'm not going to bombard you with a bunch of crap. That's not who I do. That's not what I do. Get
So
the
go
book.
to your website, put the email in, and then you'll get communications
Yeah, right at the
from
bottom.
you on upcoming events. Yeah.
Right at the bottom, it's come fly with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Back to your
Messages
little
from the
thing.
cockpit in the
Yeah.
boardroom. Yeah.
Yeah. So what would you like folks to know either about your book or just the your history, your offerings? Like what do you want folks to know that we haven't talked about yet?
Oh, a couple things. One is that if you're listening to this, you're probably a business owner or you're really considering being a business owner. 9% of the US population will ever start a business. So already you are a very special breed of person. Like I'm just celebrating that you are in this like rare club that's starting a business. I want you to know, I want everyone to know, because we don't hear this enough as business owners. Like, we just don't. No one told me. And now when I tell other business owners, it's like, you are enough and you will figure it out.
Yeah.
And there will be down periods. Like the business ownership goes like this, yay, pit of despair. I'm never going to get out of this. This sucks. And then you get out of it and you're like, okay, this is much better. It's just the process. But then the other piece of that is, I was told this by a mentor of mine, Jay Morrison. He's a retired US Navy SEAL, Master Chief, mindset guy, brilliant human. And he says, everyone says they want something, but they want nothing more. An easy example for that is everyone says they want a six-pack, but they want to eat pie more.
Oh.
But what is it? So like, I want to make $1 million, but I'd rather watch Netflix 5 days a week. I want to start my own Gia's Italian kitchen. But you know what? I'd rather just tinker around in my kitchen and refine the recipe one more time because it's not quite perfect. More. Decide what you want more. Decide what that something is. And then just eliminate everything else that stops you from getting it.
That's hard because it's so.
Doesn't have to
I think
be.
but it's second nature to make excuses. And you have to be intentional about breaking through that and take one step, make yourself do something today to further
Get with a group
your
of people
goal.
to do it together.
Yeah.
If I were to tell you, hey, you got to go run a 5K in 3 months, you'd be like, okay, well, first of all, I don't run, is what you'd probably tell me. But then you'd like, okay, well, I got to do it. So I'll go buy some new shoes and I'll get some cute running clothes. I'll go run. And then I'm like, oh, I'm dying. And then I'm not going to do it again. Now, if you were to go to a running group and these people, if you didn't show up, called you and said, where are you? We're running in 5 minutes and you're not here. And then they checked in on you and then they're working on you with your form. You know what? You'd be running a 5K in a few months. And it's the same with business. So if you decide this is something you want to do, surround yourself with a group of people, not your friends and your family, because as much as they love you, which they do, they're going to naysay the crap out of it and second guess everything you want to do. Don't go listen to people like get relationship advice from your 3-time divorced uncle. Like, no, don't do that. Like, how about go to someone that's been married for 70 years? Like, let's go talk to them. Go surround yourself, and they're in every community. You got a chamber of commerce where you are, BNI groups, like e-women's network. Like, there's 1,000 different groups out there, online, in person. Tony Robbins, and go surround yourself with the people who are doing it, and then stick yourself in that circle and make yourself accountable to them, and the change will happen. So the excuses just melt away because you'll be held to the standard.
Yeah.
And it'll suck, but it'll be amazing. But it'll suck. But then it'll be amazing. Then it'll suck. Then it'll be amazing. Oh, wait, that's life. Oh, so how about we decide what's going to suck and get something amazing instead of just like letting the suck happen?
Well, this has been awesome talking with you today, Mike. I'm so happy that you could join me. We will post all of Mike's contact information, how to get his book, his website, so that you can sign up with your email and get event information. Other last parting words for our audience.
Oh my God. You think I'd have something in the can for this, right? Okay, another good truism. If you think you can, if you think you can't, you're right.
Just do it. Michael Jordan, just do it.
There you go. You should look up the origins of that expression sometime, how they got to that. It's creepy.
I should. Okay. I'll put that on my to-do list.
All right.
Well, thanks again for joining us. And hopefully we will see you either in the Midwest or if you come to Cedar Rapids. That would be awesome.
If I stop through, I will definitely look you up.
Yeah, definitely shoot me a line.
All right.
Okay. Thanks again.
Take care. Bye-bye.